Good morning, everyone. And then I just wanted to know that what all you have learned so far with the reading you all are having. So, is there any learning or what exactly you look forward for the reading session from today? We have two reading sessions, Inner Life of Animal and the Hindi book, which is by Ruskin Bond. So, can somebody let me know? Or you can even write in the chat box. I've unmuted quite a few children. Yes? Anyone? Yes, Talat? Okay, let me see if you are unmuted. Yes, Talat. You can talk now.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I am improving my vocabulary, and by reading Ruskin Bond, I am able to read the hard words that are in Hindi.
Wow, that's nice. So with Ruskin Bond book and the English book, you are able to improve your vocabulary. That's wonderful. Somebody else? Okay, Inner Life of Animal. So just give me a minute. I have a new person reading for you the Inner Life of Animal. So she is just going to come and read it for you. So is my screen visible for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just give me a minute.
Hello, everyone. So, today we'll be starting with the communication channel. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
As I have already mentioned, in the end, we will never know if fear, grief, joy, and happiness feel the same to animals as they do to us. We cannot say for certain if one person feels the same as another, as you have perhaps discovered for yourself when it comes to pain. You can use stinging nettles to test whether some people are more sensitive than others to the same experience. Some scream out loud, while others barely feel anything. And yet, we can talk to one another so we can get at least some idea of what other people are feeling. We can't do that with animals. Really, studies of ravens tell a very different story, as we have already seen when it comes to naming. Greeting new arrivals using variously pitched calls, some higher, some lower, gives immediate feedback on the esteem in which they are held. There's no better way to express emotions than this. But communication isn't all about sounds. Even with people, a considerable portion is nonverbal, which means it's transmitted by means of facial expressions and gestures. Depending on which studies you want to believe, the verbal content of a conversation might convey as little as 7% of its actual meaning. So, what about animals? Like us, ravens don't rely on sounds alone. Researchers working with Simon Pika at the Max Planck Institute of Ornithology in Sweden discovered that these intelligent birds use their beaks in much the same way we use our hands. Whereas we point to something with a finger or raise a hand and wave in order to attract someone else's attention to an object or to ourselves. Ravens hold up objects with their beak. They also use their beak to point to something or to attract the attention of a member of the opposite sex. With an extensive vocal vocabulary and a number of physical movements that they can adjust to suit the situation in hand, they have an enormously detailed ability to express themselves. They need this because ravens spend almost all their lives together and they require a way to thoroughly check each other out. This discovery, however, opens just one small window onto the emotional life of these blackbirds, which still have many surprises to offer us. There was another such avian interpreter at our forest lodge. Our children had been given a pair of budgerias as a gift, and Anton, the male, knew how to draw attention to himself. When he wanted to be fed, he picked up his bowl and dropped it. He had plenty of other toys in his cage, so clearly this gesture was a goal oriented message that read, "Please fill this bowl." But let's leave gestures and get back to speech. Dogs can not only bark but can also make a variety of sounds that they use in a general way to express themselves. Or perhaps dogs differentiate more precisely between the sounds, while all we can decode is the general message. We got the impression this might be the case with our Munslander Maxie. As the years progressed, we learned whether she wanted to tell us what she was hungry or bored, or that her water bowl was empty. And even our horses turned out to be capable of relatively nuanced vocalizations. I was especially surprised by the equine research coming out of Switzerland. Most horse owners know that horses communicate a lot using body language. Even though research into equine nonverbal communication is more advanced than COVID research, scientists at the ETH Zurich were surprised to discover that there was more meaning in even seemingly primitive calls than previously suspected. They discovered that whinnies contain two basic frequencies and can transmit complex information. The first of the two basic frequencies indicate whether the whiny is communicating a positive or a negative emotion. The second frequency indicates the strength of the emotion. On the relative page of the ATH website, you can listen to an example of a whiny for both situations. After listening to the recordings, I knew right away that our horses clearly express a positive emotion when they whinny as they see us coming. True, there's usually food involved, but I'm not concerned about that. What interests me is that I can now say with absolute confidence that the horses are happy to see us, something I used to have to assume. And after reading the research results, I listened more closely to find out whether their calls varied and whether they were happier to see us at some times than others. So, everyone, can you now realize that how the horse's whiny differs in different situations and how they see a positive response when they see us coming? Does anybody want to speak about something or their opinions on horses? Let's continue with the reading now. Now I know. Of course, there are times when they are happier just like people. Aside from this study, I'm convinced that there are also whinies that express affection. When our older mare, Zippy, cuddles with us, she makes soft, high pitched sounds through closed lips. When she does that, we know she's feeling good and is happy to be with us. In other words, she's communicating her emotions to us verbally. I think horses are a good example of how little we know about communication among animals. People have kept horses for thousands of years. Therefore, in theory, they should have been much more thoroughly researched than wild animals. That recent research still manages to surprise us so much makes me even more careful about passing judgment on the skills other species possess. The next step in communication would be if we not only deciphered the language that animals used to talk to each other, but if we could also use to talk to them. Then it would be possible to ask them directly about a wide range of emotions. And we could spare ourselves boring scientific studies. And something like this exists already. There is a female gorilla called Coco who has very moving things to say. Yes, I mean to say. And she does so using sign language. Penny Patterson trained the young ape as part of her doctoral studies at Stanford University in California. Over time, Coco has learned more than 1,000 signs and she can understand more than 2,000 words in English. Thanks to her proficiency in sign language, she can let scientists know what she is thinking, and for the first time, it is possible to hold an extended conversation with an animal. Other apes have been trained with similar results, indicating that Coco is not an exception. The female gorilla makes regular media appearances, and there are often touching scenes. One time, she was given a stuffed zebra as a gift. When she was asked what it was, she replied with the signs for white and tiger. And when she was asked where animals go when they die, she signed comfortable hole. Coco has given so many intelligent answers and has combined concepts she has mastered with new ones that it really does make sense to call her an ape with a gift for language. So you can see now that there's a ape called Coco, and rather than, learning how to talk with words, she has learned how to talk using sign languages, which is, amazing because more than verbal communication, there's 90% non-verbal communication that takes place. And using that non-verbal communication, using sign language, we can see how Coco has communicated so many things to us. Now, moving on. However, there are also strident critics of the Gorilla Foundation, the organization dedicated to these great apes, whose most important project is exploring Coco's world. An external review of the results isn't possible, as the project publishes very little. Moreover, the conversations with Coco are not conducted according to scientific protocol. For instance, the gorilla often makes mistakes when she answers her questions, which the researchers put down to her playful nature. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you what is true and what isn't from what has been made public, but a gut feeling tells me that at the very least we have severely underestimated the capacity of our fellow creatures to communicate. And the big question for me is not whether Coco can really speak or whether only some of her answers make sense, because communication between people and animals will always be one sided. People try to teach other species human language. The species is then thought to be particularly intelligent when its members understand a lot of concepts or commands and can perhaps even utter a few intelligible words. People are thrilled when budgerias, ravens, or apes like Coco can answer a question in our language. If we really are the most intelligent species on Earth, and I believe we are, why didn't science approach this from the opposite direction a long time ago? Why are the years spent painstakingly teaching lab animals sign language if modern researchers believe that their capacity to learn is less than ours? Wouldn't it be much easier if we finally began to learn the language of animals? We have many more opportunities now than we did a few years ago. Whether it would not have been possible to produce sounds at, say, horse level because we lack the ability to whinny at two different frequencies. Today, a computer could do a reasonable job of translating what we want to say into the appropriate animal vocabulary. Unfortunately, I don't know of any serious attempts to do this. There are certainly people who can imitate animal voices, for example, the calls of different species of birds. However, people who can imitate a blackbird or a chickadee can do no more than pipe. This spot's already taken in bird language. That's all the beautiful song trilled by the males sitting up there in the treetop means. What sounds so delightful to our ears serves within the species to scare off competitors. Imagine a parrot that keeps saying, "Go away." Unfortunately, that's as far as we got with our ability to communicate with our fellow creatures. So now we have finished the chapter of communication. Does anybody want to share their thoughts about it?
Yes, so the thing is that animals, we say that we can't communicate with them because we don't know their language or they don't know our language. But I frankly feel, because I interact with cats and dogs, that they do understand our language, and they to a certain extent we do also understand their language. For example, let's take for example today in the morning, in the farm that I live, there's a dog by the name of Lily. She came over and she scratched my door, and this was the first time she'd done it. And I was very happy that she was doing it. She scratched my door, and I opened the door, and she wanted to come in. Of course, I could not let her come in, but then decided to go out with her. So when I went out with her, she took me to a spot where she had from somewhere brought in a big stone which was too heavy for her, and then she was playing with it. In the effort, she was growling, and not out of anger, as we often think that dogs growl when they're angry. It was with the effort, right? So she was doing this, and she was very happy. And then when I started moving away, she came behind me, and her happiness was very clear to me. So that little object, it was her pride. I mean, she was able to handle it. So I could understand her happiness, and she could understand that I'd come out for her, especially. Okay, and when I talk to my cat, okay, when she wants food, I remember telling her once that no, this food is not for you. So she had that facial expression, oh, I wish, right? So animals, yes, we are handicapped in a way because we do not know their language, but we do communicate very well. I think so. I don't know about others, but we definitely do communicate with animals, and uh, you know. mm, It depends on how much uh, we stay in their company. That is one thing. Okay, most of us we don't bother. Even I was not much bothered about animals till a few years back. Okay, I did not communicate with them, but since I'm living in along with a lot of pets over here in the farm, we've got a pet cat at home. Things have changed. Okay. So we do communicate. I talk to them. They come and they say something to me every morning. Okay. So the communication is there. There is, okay, you've come. Have you come? Sort of a thing. Then they would want to be petted. They show that they want to be petted. So those things are, I don't know. I would like other children, other people to also talk about this. Have they ever experienced it? That, they are communicating with their animals, the pets, even a stray animal. maybe a stray dog or a cat. Sometimes you just talk to them and see how their facial expression.
Or when
Girls
you
and
even offer strays foods, they get very excited about
they
them
get very
and they
excited.
show
Yeah,
you their, how grateful they
their
are.
affection. Yeah, especially dogs, you can see the tail wagging furiously. As if that's the best thing that's happened to them. And maybe Myra or somebody who is over here can talk about it. I don't know who are the ones who here. Manisha, I'm sure quite a lot of you all, Abhimanyu, Akrit, Aradhya, have you all experienced anything like this? Myra, Avni. Yes, Veda, please. I think Veda needs to be unmuted.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes,
Ma'am, I'm
Veda.
audible. Is I'm audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Ma'am, I have a pet in my granny's home. She used to jealous when I talk to my elder sister, and she used to jump on me every time, and she want to dance with me sometimes.
So nice, so nice. And how did you know that she wanted to dance with you?
Because she started jumping, and she started like she stand on her 2 foot, and she's like scratching me, wants to play with me.
Okay, and tottering maybe, on a 2 foot trying
Yes,
to, yeah.
yes,
Oh,
she
so
always
nice,
causes
so
some kinds
nice.
of tantrums.
Yeah, yeah.
She
So
is
so
very good.
nice. So sweet, isn't it? So she wants your attention, she wants to dance with you, and she's
Yes,
conveying it to you, and you're doing it. So it was great. It's a great thing. It's a great thing. So
she always
I
jealous also.
yeah, jealousy also. You tell somebody, "Oh, I love you so much," and you hug that person, and they try to come in between, isn't it? So
Yes,
so it's there. So they do convey, and we do understand. Maybe not fully, but we do. And the closer we are to the animals, the more we tend to, you know, understand.
yes, ma'am.
Anybody else who would like to talk about it? Akrit is there. Any one of you all have pet animals, or maybe not pet? You have if pet. I wouldn't like to call them animals because they become a part of a family very much. So yes, Abhimanyu, please.
Ma- ma'am, you, ma'am, you can talk to animals when you regular stay the animals because they are want to you can understand them.
Yes, when you are staying with them regularly, it's only then that you can talk to them. I mean, you feel like talking to them. You want to understand them. You want to ensure that they are safe. That's a fact.
Ma'am,
When they
because
feel,
they are wanted to you can understand them.
yes, that's right. And Sandeep Balia, Akansha is writing that we should try to understand animals' language rather than teaching them our language. If we know that their learning capacity is less than ours. Yes, Akansha, but the thing is, we also do not know their language. Even if we try to learn their language, we are only guessing that this must be. After a lot of research, some people might learn it, but then all of us are not really into that. And at the same time, we can't say they don't understand our language. They do. Sometimes you tell an animal to come. You don't really know that they understand, but then you see them coming along. Okay, sit. Okay. Some things, since we can only speak our language, we have to make them understand our language as well. And sometimes we try to understand their language. And like the chapter says, sign language is very important. Like I had Lily coming to my door, scratching the door, trying to come in, and I did not let her in, but then I went after her. That is a sign language that you come. I want you to be with me. So sign languages also become very important. We can understand people's sign languages as well. So yeah, I think it's a great thing that we can talk to animals in some ways. maybe not in every form, but some ways at least. Okay. And with effort, we can probably understand them much, much more. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, ma'am. It was very enlightening, and I really agree that, the more time that you spend with animals, the more easier it gets, to communicate with each other because you understand each other more. So now we'll start with the next chapter titled Where is the Soul? So now it's time to dig deep. Do animals have a soul in the sense of an entity with no physical form? It's a really tricky question and one I would first like to explore in humans because that's a bit easier. So, what do we mean by soul? The dictionary, interestingly enough, has a number of different definitions, which shows that there's no common understanding of what the word soul means. One definition suggests that soul is the principle of life, feeling, thought, and action in humans. Another suggests that it is the spiritual part of people which, according to religious beliefs, lives on after death. And because no one can inspect the latter, I'm going to set my sights on the first definition: feelings, thoughts, and actions. There you have all you need to describe the essence of an animal, right? Animals definitely act, and we no longer deny them feelings. So that just leaves thoughts. According to the dictionary definition, which only applies to human, of course, the capacity to think is a prerequisite for a soul. Okay, let's search for this capacity. That's not easy though, because there are a lot of different descriptions for thought, many of which are highly complicated and yet still don't understand adequately capture the concept. The Technical University of Dresden offered its students this explanation, among others. Thinking is a mental process in which symbolic or pictorial representations of objects, events, or actions are generated, transformed, or combined. A much simpler explanation mentioned in the same context puts it more succinctly: thinking is a problem solving. According to this definition, thinking is part of the skill set, at least of those animals whose behavior makes sense to us. Ravens that greet other ravens by name, rats that reflect on their actions and regret what they have done, roosters that lie to their hens, and magpies that risk a bit on the side. Would anyone deny that problem solving processes are going on in their heads? And with that, I would like to come back to the second religious definition of a soul, after all. Even if I have to tread carefully and I don't feel confident here, even if I believe and logic are to a certain extent mutually exclusive, I would like to argue for the existence of an animal soul in the religious sense of the word. If we exclude the possibility of actual physical resurrection, a soul is a prerequisite for life after death. And if you believe that people have souls in this sense, then animals must have them as well. Why? Because the fundamental question is how long people have been going to heaven. For 2000 years, for 4000 years, or for as long as there have been humans. That would be about 200,000 years. But where is the break with our earlier life forms, with our predecessors? That break didn't happen abruptly, it happened stealthily. Small changes spread out over generations in the course of evolution, which individuals are then to be identified as being not yet people with souls. Some female ancestor who lived 200,000 23 years ago, or a man armed with a flint weapon who lived 200,197 years ago. No, there's no sharp demarcation, and so you can trace the lineage farther and farther back, past our primitive forefathers, primates, the first mammals, dinosaurs, fish, plants, bacteria. If there's no specific point in time, X, to which the genesis of a creature of the species Homo sapiens can be fixed, then there is also no specific point in time when the soul appeared. And if there is a higher form of justice in the religious sense, then when it comes to the question of eternal life, there can't very well be a sharp line drawn between two generations where the older one is denied entry and the younger one is admitted. Isn't it a beautiful vision that up in heaven there will be a throng of animals of different species living among countless humans? I personally do not believe in life after death. I envy anyone who does, but my powers of imagination cannot carry me that far. Therefore, I am content with the first description of the soul, which I am happy to attribute to all animals. I simply find it a fine thought that other species are not mere machines in which everything is directed by the predetermined mechanisms and actions happen when a button is pushed, which is to say, when a hormone is released. Squirrels, deer, and wild boar with souls. That's the thought that makes life special and warms my heart when I have the opportunity to watch animals like these in the wild. So now we've also finished with this chapter. Does anyone have any thoughts about it?
I absolutely agree with the writer, actually, that soul is something that everybody has. So the thing is, what is soul for you people? Can anyone tell me what exactly is soul for you? Anybody interested in telling me? Any of you people who are unmuted, maybe like Sidhu could be, or Disha, Veda, Aradhya, Myra, Avni,
Ma'am,
Akrit. Yes,
a invisible power that gives you strength and
the invisible.
feels you.
Yeah. Yeah. So how would you the invisible part that gives us strength, keeps us alive? It's invisible. It's energy flowing through us, right?
Yes,
Wouldn't
ma'am.
you call that? So it's
It's a
that
kind
energy.
of energy, a powerful soul, which is in
Yeah.
every part of you.
Yes. And we are alive only as long as that flow remains, right? Which is in every part of us. So the thing is, if we are alive and if we have soul, shouldn't animals also have it? What do you say, Abhimanyu, Akrit, Aradhya, Avni, Veda,
Ma'am, yes,
Manisha?
animals can also have souls because they have also, because everybody in this world have energy, have something very special in that.
Yeah, we all have energy. So this discussion by the author is actually quite interesting. We don't think that animals are equals, but if we
May
look
I,
at it
ma'am?
that way, yeah, please do, please go ahead.
Soul, soul is entity that lives in our body
Mm,
and this lives forever in our body. If our body gets stop, the soul
mm,
is
moves
repeat.
out. Yeah, it goes out. Yeah.
Ma'am,
So the
can
thing
I
is,
share my thoughts?
yes, yes, please, Myra.
Ma'am, for me, there is no specific soul for humans and animals. Both are same, and animals also have soul. And even after our body perishes, the soul remains, and it just enters into a new body. Soul was always there, even before the planets were made, and even before the universe was created. Soul was also always present. We are alive because the soul entered our body. And that
Yes.
same soul can go into animals' bodies and leave our body. That means when we die.
Yeah, I mean, that is your thought process that okay, when the soul is created, when it comes into the body, and then it moves on to another body, and that is what we call rebirth. Lots of people, when you read the works of philosophers and all, they'll say, no, the soul, once it comes out of your body, it goes and merges with the universal energy, and then what comes out is something a different soul altogether. But with whatever way we think, that energy does exist, and that energy exists for all of us, even the plants, the trees. No, okay. Yes, please. Yes, Ganima. So that's
May
an
I
interesting thing. Yeah, please, please, please. Who was that?
soul connects with nature and universe too.
Yeah, extremely nice. Others also can participate. I can't see everybody who's over here so that I can ask them. There are quite a lot of you today. So if somebody
Um,
else wants to speak, please do.
Meenakshi ma'am, we have Brinda ma'am here. So since the book
Great.
got over today, ma'am can conclude.
Yeah, yeah.
Good morning, Brinda ma'am. Am I audible to you? Brinda ma'am, am I audible?
Am I audible to all of
Yes,
you?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. Sorry about the mix up on time, but children, I hope you all enjoyed the conclusion of the book. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Your so how did you like this book? That's what I want to know from all of you. Any hands up, Manisha ma'am?
Mm, let me check.
Myra's hand is up. She wants to speak.
Okay. Yeah, Myra. Myra has been one of the most enthusiastic participants on this book. Yes,
Thank
Myra.
you. Ma'am, I feel that this was a great book and it
Huh.
makes us think about animals
Hmm.
and if they are like humans or if they're different and how we can
Hmm.
connect with animals. So
Okay.
like after like reading this book,
Hmm.
whenever I see any animal, it makes me think about this book and I
Hmm.
wonder if they're having some thoughts about me, what they
All
are
right.
feeling, and it makes
Okay.
me notice animals more.
All right. Okay. Interestingly, at the end of the book, there is this chapter on the soul. Is there a soul? That is what it says here. So, when you read this particular chapter, where is the soul? What were your feelings? Other than Myra, others can also answer. We all have a connect with our own souls, and we always talk about how nature brings you closer to your own thoughts and your inner being and the soul. So is there any thought on this?
Madhumita, you can
Madhumita
answer.
has a.
You want to say?
Yeah,
Ma'am,
please.
ma'am,
Yeah.
God did not give animals the ability to speak, but He gave them some abilities as such as dogs to
uh,
smell and release objects.
yeah, yeah, right. That's okay. But we read about a lot of other senses throughout the book, extrasensory powers they seem to be having. So, if you can recollect any of those powers that we humans don't have and animals seem to have, anyone who would like to say something on this? Yes?
Akansha has a message.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Akansha, would you like to switch on your mic and speak?
okay, I'll just read her message. She
Huh.
wrote, I personally like the book a lot as I get to know so many things regarding various different topics through its different chapters.
Yeah.
The last chapter says that animals also have souls just like human beings.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to kind of dwell upon, because this is such an
Brinda ma'am, you're on mute, Brinda ma'am.
yeah. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. So I was saying, yes, that is exactly why I asked this question about the soul, because it's a beautiful way to end a book. The book which talked about so many other aspects of animals, their habits, and, constantly what the author was trying to make us all realize is that many times we ignore the existence of animals, or we don't take them very seriously, and that's exactly what this book is about. So the inner life of animals has given us so many insights into various different aspects of animals which we generally do not notice in our everyday life. We are so busy with organizing things for ourselves that often we forget all these things. So, is there anyone who wants to add to what I just said? Hello?
Ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah,
You all can write in the chat box in case you don't want to speak.
yeah,
Veda, you're allowed to talk.
Ma'am, I
yeah,
think so. They have feelings. Like
yeah,
everybody in this world have feelings. Like
absolutely.
like dogs. They're much loyal than
Hmm.
us. They
Hmm.
have loyalty. If they have
Yes.
feelings, they can how they can connect with us.
Yeah.
Like we have pets in our home. How they are
Hmm.
connect to us.
Yes.
Well, is stray dogs are connect to us.
Yes, they are all connected to us.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
not only dogs, but also cats. And even if you have other pets at home, you will find that as they stay with you, a kind of a bond develops between us and them. And otherwise, also, even if you go into the deep jungle, we'll see how animals coexist. That's what the author has tried to point out to us. Just like human beings live in a society and we coexist, we live with one another, we kind of accept each other, we tolerate each other, and that's how we live. So this is exactly what the author is talking about, that we coexist, we live together, and that's how the world goes around. So that's the precise motive behind this book, behind the writer writing this book. All his research has come out in this. And I think, Manisha ma'am, we are already ready for the next book, because it is also going to be about animals. And yeah, has anyone heard about Gerald Durrell? Ma'am, keep telling me about the time, because I shouldn't exceed your time.
I'll do that. You have 10 minutes.
I have 10 minutes. Okay.
Ma'am,
There was a chat again. Can we just see what the chat is?
1 minute. It is from Akanksha again. So the
Yeah.
question you ask is true. Animals have some special senses. Like
Right.
in many videos and in many people's podcasts, I have listened that they can detect the natural disasters or other entities much before
Yes.
we get to know about it.
True. That's so true. That's so true. Yes. So, and even here we read about it. In many cases, there were some chapters which dealt with this particular extrasensory power, as I put it. Right. So wonderful. I'm glad that you all have been able to take back something about the animal world and the inner life of animals from this reading of the book. And we are ready for the next book, which is about again about the world of animals, but in a very different way. I want to know if any one of you has heard about this man called Gerald Durrell, who has written the next book that we are going to read. That's one of the first books that he published, and he's written a series of books on animals. So, is there anyone who has heard about him?
yes, ma'am.
Yes. Who said
I,
yes?
Ma'am Myra.
Okay, Myra, tell me.
Ma'am, you came to our class, like I think
Yes.
last year or something,
Yeah.
and you had a reading session on Gerald Durrell.
Huh.
And then I went to the library and took one of his books.
Huh.
I don't remember the name, but it was about him having an elephant.
Yes, Rosie is my
I read it.
relative. That's the name of
Yes,
the
ma'am.
book. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So did
And it
you
was
like
really
it?
fun. Yes, ma'am. It was
It
really
was
good.
a lot of fun reading about the elephant, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So we are going to read about his adventures with animals. Now let me tell you a little bit about Gerald Durrell so that the next time then when I have my session, we'll go straight into reading the book. So Gerald Durrell grew up, incidentally he was born in India in a place called Jamshedpur because his father used to work here, and then his father passed away very young. So his mother and Jerry was the youngest of the brothers and sister. So all of them moved back. First, they moved to England where they couldn't really settle down. So for the initial few years, Gerald did go to school, but he was not very happy in the school that he went to. And then his oldest brother, Lawrence Durrell, known as Larry, decided that he would like to move on to Greece. So the entire family moved with him to a place called Corfu Island in Greece, and that's where Gerald Durrell grew up. And since he didn't have really a school to go to, his brothers and his mother decided that he should have private tutors. And that's where and as it is, he had a natural instinct to look out for creatures, creepy, crawly creatures and animals and birds and everything, more animals and creatures than birds. And so he got this very interesting tutor who came to teach him at home called Theodore. And this gentleman was the one who was a biologist and a kind of an eccentric kind of person who knew so much about the natural world. And he would take Gerald on these interesting nature walks and teach him a lot about things that he saw in nature. So that's what Gerald grew up to learn. And then he became so interested in all this that he decided, as he grew up, that he would be a collector of endangered species of animals for zoos. And then ultimately, he himself set up his own zoo at a place called New Jersey in England. And he wanted money to look after all these animals in the zoo and other things, and to sustain himself he decided that he would start writing about all his adventures. And so that's how he became a writer, and he wrote about every single trip that he went on to collect animals and things like that, and various people he met, various adventures that he had with various kinds of animals. And then he started what is known as the World Wildlife Fund, WWF. And that's how the world also became aware that we need to look after animals and that we should really do something in order to protect and take care of all the creatures and animals around us. So Gerald Durrell has a wonderful I must say. He passed away a few years ago, and he had this wonderful sense of humor. Besides the power on his vocabulary and his language, he had a wonderful sense of humor, and he saw human qualities in all the animals, and the way he has portrayed all of them that he encountered is a wonderful reading. So I hope that when we read My Family and Other Animals, we are going to enjoy ourselves and learn a lot more about these animals, which were not necessarily in the wild, and increase our own, first of all, our knowledge of various animals and creatures around us, and more than that, our own language abilities, our vocabulary, and our expression would also improve when we read authors like the one we've just finished, Peter Wolben, and now next would be Gerald Durrell. right? So if you want to ask me any other question or you want to say anything, please do that. I think we just have a few more minutes before we finish. Anybody would like to speak? Manisha, ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
is there anyone who's put up a hand up or anything?
I cannot see any. Yes,
Okay.
here. Everyone, do you have? There's one question, I believe. Let me check.
Yeah. And also, I want to know whether the book, we have the book to be displayed, but does anyone own the book? Has anyone purchased a book? It's a good idea to even buy and keep a book with you, because these are books which are like classics. You would want to read them over and over again, like I like to do that. Very recently, this is the one of the reasons I wanted to read Gerald Durrell is also because this is the centenary year of Gerald Durrell, the 100th year of Gerald Durrell, and so we celebrate that also. And his autobiography has been released this year, and I'm just reading that, and it's a collection of a lot of his writings right through his
That the
year.
book, ma'am?
Yes.
So y'all can see this is the book, and you can take a screenshot. You can buy this book. It's a wonderful and lovely book, and we'll be reading this book from the next week. So along
Yeah.
with this, the Ruskin Bonds book also y'all can buy.
Ah.
The Hindi book. It's not available online. That's why I'm not screen sharing. But yes, this book, please
I
buy
think
it. It'll be
all of
wonderful.
Gerald Durrell's is available on Amazon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is
Great.
the one which we'll be reading then from the next week.
Okay, wonderful. Does anyone want to say anything? Minakshi ma'am, or any one of you want does do you want to say something about what we've read?
Ma'am,
I'm very excited about Gerald Durrell, so I hope the excitement will catch on.
yes, ma'am, it will. It will. It
Yeah,
was very interesting. The books that we read,
yeah,
they're all very
yeah.
interesting. The last book was very interesting because this is something we don't think about. And the
Yes,
books,
yes.
these books help, they help us to think. I mean, otherwise,
Absolutely. There are so many things which I was not aware of before I read The Inner Life of Animals. It's been an eye opener. So, and these children are lucky that they're getting to read this at the age that they're reading it at. So
yeah,
wonderful. I think they should all realize this, right?
it's a
Okay.
great thing, mind-opening thing. Children, I
Yeah,
really think you should, follow these books up
yeah,
because
absolutely.
life of animals right now, inner life of plants early on, I would never
Yes,
have picked up these books from the
absolutely right.
from the shelf.
Absolutely right. Yeah, that's why we choose these. Yeah. Okay, Manisha ma'am, back to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, yes, the book really got over.
yeah,
We really didn't want it to get it over, but never mind.
I
The
know.
next book will be more one is going to enlighten us more. And yes, our
Absolutely. Yeah.
curiosity will also be there. And as all the students keep saying, whenever you come, it's wonderful for them as
Thank you
they
so
do
much.
understand, they get to enhance their vocabulary words.
Yeah,
They and
yeah. The
today the session was
expression,
also
yes.
nice in terms of as it was having communication as a topic, and the
Hmm.
other was based on soul. So
Right.
very two important topic which really has touched us. So
Ah.
thank you so much. Over to the next book. So before I start the next book, I have a little quiz for everyone. Can you all see my screen? Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the name of the book is Ruskin Bond's book, which is a Whistling Schoolboy. Can you read? Can you see the book? Yeah, I cannot show it online to you because it's not available. Now, the best part is the name of the book is the chapter which we are going to read today. So there are many stories. One of the story is the Whistling Schoolboy. So if I read the questions here, when you hear the title, the Whistling Schoolboy, what kind of boy do you imagine? So the options are cheerful and carefree, lonely and mysterious, brave and he loves adventure, naughty and troublesome. So what do you think it is?
Ma'am,
Cheerful and carefree.
Okay,
ma'am,
let's see. Next,
and
what
adventure.
emotion do you usually connect with whistling? Happiness, confidence, loneliness, fear.
Careful
Happiness.
and carefree.
Ma'am,
Okay,
brave and adventures.
beta, happiness, these are,
I'm
I'm talking
brave
about
and
question two.
adventure. I'm brave and adventure.
I think Manisha ma'am, they're still on the first question. We'll have to give them a little time.
No worries. Okay, so I'm talking about the second one, this question. What emotion do you usually connect with whistling?
I'm confident.
Okay, so whistling according to you is confidence. Lovely.
I'm
Anything
confident.
else? Okay, confidence. Somebody else wants to say? Talat wants to say something. Let me see if she is unmuted. Mm. Yeah, Talat, you're allowed to talk.
I think that it will be loneliness.
Okay, so when we talk about whistling, you feel it is loneliness. Wonderful. So, let me say one thing to everyone. We do not have any correct answer because we are guessing the answers before the actual chapter is being read. So, we will connect with this when we are going to read the chapter. So, yes, nothing is right and wrong. We are free to guess. And let's see kiska guesswork अच्छा work करता है. Question 3. Ruskin Bond often writes about big cities,
The
ponds
forest and
and
hills.
hills, foreign countries, space and
Ma'am,
science.
forest and hills.
Forest and hills. Forest and hills.
Yes, he writes about forests and hills. If you heard a boy whistling every day at the same time, what would you think? He enjoys nature. He is hiding a secret. He wants attention. He is warning someone.
He is hiding a secret.
Ma'am,
Okay.
he enjoyed nature.
Okay, he's hiding a secret. He enjoys nature. Can I have some other
Ma'am,
answer also?
he's warning someone. Please, ma'am. Mine is the right answer.
Okay, he's warning someone. Yes. Teacher आगे या principal ma'am, your coordinator ma'am or somebody, we do whistle to give sign. So yes, that could all be also one of the reason and the answer for whistling. Wonderful. So do you think the whistling schoolboy will be an ordinary child, someone important to the story, a symbol rather than a real person, a mystery that slowly unfolds?
A symbol. A mystery that slowly unfolds.
Okay,
Ma'am, he a mystery that slowly unfolds.
okay.
A
Something else,
symbol.
or we all have the same opinion? That's it, a mystery that slowly unfolds. Okay, let's check. Which theme do you expect from this story? Childhood, innocence, friendship, fear and imagination, loneliness and freedom.
Ma'am, friendship.
Childhood innocence.
Ma'am,
Why,
loneliness.
why, why?
So,
Why do you think it is childhood, innocence, or friendship?
Because when we are innocent, we try to do something, some tantrums.
Oh, that's wonderful. What else? Somebody
I
else?
think the answer should be loneliness and freedom because I have that book and I have already read that chapter.
ओके सो आपने पूरा सस्पेंस खत्म कर दिया तलत
I
नो
always
वरी
read this book at the night.
ओके सस्पेंस खत्म कर दिया आपने फिर हमारा चलो never mind. Have you ever noticed a small habit like whistling, humming, or walking alone that made you curious about someone?
Ma'am, yes.
Okay, why?
Ma'am, because sometimes you can curious about many things. You can learn many things about them.
You can learn about many things when you are curious. Okay.
Ma'am,
What
answer
else?
is yes.
Why?
मैम बिकॉज मैम
Yeah.
जब हम मैम किसी चीज को मैम जानने की कोशिश करते हैं तो मैम इसलिए मैम यस हो सकता है.
Mm-hmm. Chalo, wonderful. Let's check in the story what it is. So this is the very second last question. Ruskin Bond stories are usually loud and dramatic, simple but meaningful, full of action, scary and suspenseful.
Simple but meaningful.
Yes, they are
Simple but
simple.
meaningful.
Yes, they
Simple
gives
but
us a
meaningful.
meaning,
Simple but
but they are very
meaningful.
simple.
I'm simple but meaningful.
Yes, thank you.
Simple
Do
but
you think,
meaningful.
okay, the last question. Do you think this story will make readers feel happy, thoughtful, sad, curious?
I'm curious.
Thoughtful or curious?
I'm curious.
Ma'am,
Why?
curious. Ma'am, because in his stories there is mainly suspense in the end, and he lets the reader like think that what will happen next. So I think it will be curious.
Okay. Like the last time when it has an open-ended story. Chalo, let's see how and what the story unfolds for us. Are we all ready to listen to the story?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can anyone guess how the story will begin? What could be the beginning of the story?
Maybe scenario was school.
Okay, that's wonderful thought. What else?
Talking to
Yes. Yes, beta. How the story is going to start? Anyone? Am I audible to you?
Yes,
Am I
ma'am.
audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Just give me 1 minute. नहीं, दूसरा. Okay, let's begin with the story. The Whistling Schoolboy. चांद अपने पूरे शबाब पर था. उसने सड़क पर उजली चांदनी की छटा बिखेरी हुई थी, लेकिन मुझे ऐसा लगा था कि पेड़ों की परछाइयां, टेढ़ी मेढ़ी ओक, पेड़ की शाखाएं मेरी तरफ आने के लिए मेरा पीछा कर रही हूँ. उनमें से कुछ धमका रही हूँ और अन्य को साथ की जरूरत नहीं है. एक रात मैंने सपने में देखा कि पेड़ चल सकते हैं. इस तरह की चांदनी रात में वे अपने को कुछ वक्त के लिए अपनी जगह से जुदा कर लेते थे और फिर एक दूसरे से मिलने जाते थे. आपस में पुराने वक्त के उन इंसानों, खासतौर बुजुर्गों की और घटनाओं की बातें करते थे जिन्हें उन्होंने कभी देखा नहीं था. और फिर सुबह होने से पहले वे उस जगह पर लौटकर आ जाते थे जहां पर उन्हें बढ़ने के लिए अभिशस्त किया गया था. रात का आखिरी पहर हो जाता था और यह उनके लिए एक दूसरे को शुभ रात्रि कहकर लौटने का वक्त होता था. वे ऐसा करने के लिए उत्सुक रहते थे. उस सन्नाटे भरी रातों में पत्तों की व्याकुल भरी सरसराहट, शाखाओं की चरमराहट की आवाजें उनके अंदर से आया करती थी. अंधेरे में कभी कभी अन्य घुमक्कड़ मेरे पास से गुजर जाते थे. यह कभी कभी काफी सुबह का वक्त होता था. 8 ही तो बजे थे और कुछ लोग तो वापस अपने घर जा रहे थे, जबकि कुछ लोग सूरज की चमकदार रोशनी, दुकानों और रेस्टोरेंट का स्वाद लेने के लिए शहर में घूम रहे थे. अंधेरी सड़क होने के चलते मैं उनमें से किसी को भी नहीं पहचान सका। उन्होंने मुझ पर ध्यान नहीं दिया। मुझे अपने बचपन का एक पुराना गीत याद आ रहा था। धीरे से मैंने धुन गुनगुनाना शुरू किया और जल्द ही उस गीत का तजुर्मा मेरे होठों पर आ गया। हम तीन, कभी भीड़ नहीं है हम, कभी साथी भी तो नहीं है हम, बस यह मेरी गूंज, मेरी छाया और मैं। मैंने नीचे अपनी परछाई की तरफ देखा, जो कि मेरे बगल में खामोशी से चल रही थी। क्या हम अपनी छाया को हल्के में नहीं लेते हैं? वह हमारी जिंदगी भर की अडिग साथी है, हमारे हर कृत या चूक की मूक और असहाय गवाह है। इस उजली चांदनी रात में मैंने तुम्हें अर्थात परछाई को देखे बगैर नहीं रह सका, और मुझे इस बात का अफसोस था कि जिस काम से मुझे शर्मिंदगी थी, उससे तुम्हें कई बार गुजरना सहना पड़ा, लेकिन साथ में मुझे इस बात की खुशी भी थी कि जब मुझे छोटी सी जीत मिली तो उस वक्त तुम मेरे साथ थे। और मेरी प्रतिध्वनि का क्या? मैंने सोचा कि क्यों ना मैं पुकार कर देखूं कि मेरी आवाज लौटकर मेरे पास आती है या नहीं। लेकिन मैंने ऐसा करने से परहेज किया, क्योंकि मैं पहाड़ों पर फैली घोर शांति या पेड़ों की बातचीत में खलल नहीं डालना चाहता था। कोई मुझे यहाँ बता सकेगा कि वो शैडो को लेकर के इतने खुश भी थे, उत्साहित भी थे, एंड एट द सेम टाइम वो सैड भी फील कर रहे थे? तो ऐसा क्यों? यस, कोई बताएगा कि शैडो हमारे साथ कब होता है?
मैम, जैसे वो अकेला था तो उसे अपने साथ शैडो को देखकर लगता था कि एक और हमारा साथी भी साथ में है, जैसे
ओके,
इसीलिए वो खुश था। और मैम सैड के लिए मैम यही कि वो अकेला घूम रहा था।
ठीक है। नाइस, वेरी नाइस। कोई और बता पाएगा, इंटरप्रिटेट कर पाएगा?
मैम, एक ऐसी चीज जो आपके पास हमेशा रहेगी, मतलब जैसे कि बहुत चीजें होती हैं जो आपको छोड़ देती है। जो चीज आप ही की है लेकिन आपकी एक साथी बन के चलती है, लेकिन आपको कभी उस चीज के होने का एहसास नहीं होता। जब आप डरते हो तो वो चीज आपके साथ रहती है।
वेरी नाइस, वेरी नाइस। तो शैडो हमेशा आपके साथ रहता है, और आप डरते भी हो, खुश भी होते हो, जिंदगी में कुछ भी उतार चढ़ाव होता है, आपका जो अपना प्रतिबिंब है, आपका जो शैडो है, वो हमेशा आपके साथ ही रहता है। वेरी नाइस।
मैम कैन आई?
यस, तलत प्लीज।
मैम उसको इस बात की खुशी थी कि उसके साथ कोई और भी है, और इस बात की दुखी थी कि जब उससे कोई गलती हो गई या फिर वो किसी चीज के लिए दुखी था, तो उसके साथ उसकी परछाई को भी दुखी होना पड़ा।
एग्जैक्टली। तो इन अ वे वो अपने आप को खुद से सॉरी बोलने की कोशिश कर रहा था कि किसी गलती के कारण उन्हें सुनना पड़ रहा था, जबकि उन्हें ऐसा नहीं लगता था कि शायद उनकी कहीं गलती रही होगी। तो वो शर्मिंदा भी फील कर रहे थे और साथ साथ खुश भी हो रहे थे, क्योंकि लाइफ इज फुल ऑफ एंजॉयमेंट, फुल ऑफ लर्निंग, एंड कुछ ना कुछ नया हम हर रोज सीखते ही हैं। चलिए आगे देखते हैं चैप्टर में क्या हुआ। पहाड़ पर जाने वाली सड़क ऊबड़ खाबड़ थी और ऊपर की तरफ समतल थी, जहां पर ये ऊंचे देवदारों के बीच ऐसी लिपटी हुई थी कि मानो चांदनी की एक रिबन बन गई हो, एक उड़ने वाली गिलहरी की तरह एक पेड़ से दूसरे पेड़ को छोड़कर सड़क पर उड़ती रही हो। एक रात्रि चढ़ ने बुलाया, बाकी सन्नाटा था। पुराना कब्रिस्तान मेरे इर्द गिर्द मंडरा रहा था। उस कब्रिस्तान में बहुत सी पुरानी कब्रें थीं। उनमें कुछ बड़ी कब्रें और स्मारक भी मौजूद थे। सभी कब्रें अभी हाल ही की थी, जिससे पता चला था कि कब्रिस्तान अभी भी इस्तेमाल किया जाता था। मैंने उनमें से किसी एक कब्र पर डहलिया और सुर्ख लाल फूलों के कुछ सूखे हुए पत्ते भी देखे। उस कब्रिस्तान की चार दीवारी के पास की सुरक्षा दीवार का एक हिस्सा भारी मॉनसूनी बारिश से ढह गया था। कब्र पर लगाए गए कुछ पत्थर भी उनके साथ नीचे आ गिरे थे। एक कब्र की मिट्टी के हट जाने से एक सड़ा हुआ ताबूत और मेरी और आपकी तरह जीने और प्यार करने वाले इंसानों की हड्डियां अवशेष के रूप में बिखरी हुई थी। समाधि के पत्थर का एक हिस्सा सड़क के किनारे पड़ा था, लेकिन उस पर लिखे हुए अक्षर मिट गए थे। हालांकि आमतौर पर मैं कोई विकृत व्यक्ति नहीं हूँ, फिर भी किसी चीज ने मुझे हड्डी का एक चिकना और गोल टुकड़ा उठाने के लिए मजबूर कर दिया। शायद वह चीज खोपड़ी का हिस्सा थी, और उसे लेकर जब मैंने उसे अपनी मुट्ठी में बंद किया तो हड्डी टूटकर चूरा हो गई। मैंने उसे पास के घास में फेंक दिया, जिससे वहां पर धूल ही धूल हो गई। और तभी कहीं प्यार से पास से किसी की सीटी बजाने की आवाज सुनाई दी। पहले तो मैंने सोचा कि शायद शाम को चहलकदमी वाला कोई व्यक्ति ने आप में सीटी बजा रहा हो, लेकिन उसी तरह जैसे कि मैं अपना पुराना गाना गाता था। लेकिन सीटी बजाने वाला बहुत तेजी के साथ मेरे नजदीक पहुंच गया। सीटी की आवाज तेज और प्रफुल्ल कर देने वाली थी। एक लड़का साइकिल पर सवार तेजी से आगे निकल गया, और इसके पहले कि उसकी साइकिल सड़क पर मौजूद छाया को चीरती हुई गुजर पाती, मैंने उसकी एक झलक पाने में सफल हो गया। लेकिन फिर से एक बार वह चंद मिनटों के भीतर वापस आ गया और कुछ फीट की दूरी पर आकर खड़ा हो गया, और मेरी तरफ उसने एक विचित्र रहस्यमय मुस्कान बिखेरी। वह 14-15 साल का एक दुबला पतला सांवला लड़का था। उसने स्कूल का ब्लेजर और पीले रंग का स्कार्फ गले में लटकाया हुआ था। उसकी आंखें चांदनी झील की तरह थी। मैंने कहा, क्या तुम्हारी साइकिल में घंटी नहीं है? उसने इसका कोई जवाब नहीं दिया, बस सिर को थोड़ा एक तरफ करते हुए मेरी ओर देखकर मुस्कुरा दिया। मैंने उसकी तरफ अपना हाथ इस उम्मीद के साथ बढ़ाया कि शायद मुझसे हाथ मिलाएगा, लेकिन फिर एकदम अचानक वो खुशी से सीटी बजाता हुआ फिर से गायब हो गया। वह एक सीटी बजाता हुआ स्कूली छात्र था। हालांकि बाहर निकलने के समय में कुछ ज्यादा देरी हो चुकी थी, लेकिन वह देखने में आजाद पंछी की तरह लग रहा था। क्या लगता है आपको, ये जो सीटी बजाने वाला स्कूली बच्चा था, ये कौन हो सकता है? कोई गेस करना चाहेगा?
मैम किसी स्कूल का, मैम वो मैं पढ़ता हूँ मैम किसी स्कूल में।
हम्म। तो शाम के समय स्कूल में बच्चे आ रहे थे, आते हैं क्या?
मैम ही कैन बी अ इमेजिनेशन ऑफ राइटर रस्किन बॉन्ड।
Okay, he could be the imagination of Ruskin Bond, the writer. Very good. और कुछ? और क्या हो सकता है?
मैम क्या पता ये वहीं उधर ही के जहाँ वो गए थे रस्किन उनके मतलब जो गए थे, तो मैम वहाँ के विलेजर्स जैसे होते हैं, तो मैम उनके बच्चे सब क्या पता घूम रहे हो या कहीं गए थे वापस आए।
यस, कई बार बच्चे शाम तक भी यूनिफॉर्म पहने रहते हैं, उतारते नहीं है, खेलते कूदते भी उसी के
एक्सक्यूज
साथ
मी
है।
मैम।
यस।
मैम इट कैन
यस।
बी लाइक our writer Ruskin Bond is want to express his feeling about his childhood, or anyone who knows in his childhood can be.
ओके, हो सकता है कोई मेमोरी आ गई हो अपने बचपन की, चाइल्डहुड की। ठीक है, देखते हैं क्या हुआ चैप्टर में। अगले दिन मेरी सुबह की शुरुआत एक अलग किस्म की सीटी की आवाज के साथ हुई। वह दरअसल मेरी खिड़की के बाहर बैठी थ्रश का मधुर गीत था। ये आपकी एक चिड़िया का नाम है। यह एक अद्भुत दिन था। धूप पूरी तरह से खिली हुई गर्मी तथा भाव में पैदा कर रही थी, और ऐसे में मैं इसका आनंद उठाना चाहता था। लेकिन मुझे कई सारे काम निपटाने होते हैं। प्रूफ को ठीक करना था और कई खत लिखने थे। और फिर मैंने कई दिनों से पहाड़ की चोटी पर स्थित देवदार के पेड़ों के नीचे उस एकांत शांत विश्राम स्थल पर भी तो नहीं जा पाया था। यह एक विडंबना ही तो थी। जिन लोगों ने चमकती हुई बर्फ से ढकी चोटियों का सबसे अच्छा नजारा देखा था, वे सभी कई फीट नीचे कब्र में दफन हो चुके थे। ये एक्चुअली लाइफ का एक साक्ष्य, मतलब एक इम्पॉर्टेंट लेसन भी है। हम पैदा होते हैं, बड़े होते हैं, अपनी लाइफ को अच्छे से जीते हैं, काम करते हैं, एंड एक के बाद एक हमें इस दुनिया से आगे भी जाना होता है। तो यस, इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट लाइफ लर्निंग लेसन कि जो पैदा हुआ है वो इस दुनिया को छोड़ के कहीं ना कहीं, कभी ना कभी चला ही जाएगा। तो यही बात इन्होंने लिखी है कि जमीन के नीचे कई फीट नीचे दफन हो चुके थे। कुछ मरम्मत का काम चल रहा था। कब्रिस्तान की दीवार को दुरुस्त रखने के लिए उसे मजबूत किया जा रहा था, लेकिन काम की देखरेख कर रहे ओवरसियर ने मुझे बताया कि क्षतिग्रस्त कब्र की मरम्मत करने के लिए पैसे नहीं हैं। चौकीदार की मदद से मैंने बिखरी हुई हड्डियों को ढह चुकी हुई चिनाई से उभर आए छोटे से गड्ढे के अंदर रख दिया और उस चौकीदार के पास कुछ पैसे छोड़ दिए ताकि वह टूट गई कब्रों की मरम्मत करवा ले। कब्र के पत्थर पर लिखा हुआ नाम घिस गया था, लेकिन मुझे 20 नवंबर 1950 की तारीख दिखाई पड़ रही थी, कोई 50 साल पुरानी, लेकिन इतनी भी नहीं जितनी की कब्र पर लगे पत्थर बयां कर रहे थे। मुझे चर्च के बरामदे में एक रजिस्टर मिला जिनमें उन लोगों का लेखा जोखा था जो इस कब्रिस्तान में दफनाए गए थे। मैं 1950 के दौर के, जब मैं खुद एक स्कूली छात्र हुआ करता था, के पन्ने को ढूंढने के लिए रजिस्टर पलटने लगा और मुझे माइकल दत्ता, जिसकी उम्र 15 वर्ष थी, का नाम मिला और उस रजिस्टर में उसकी मौत का कारण था सड़क दुर्घटना बताया गया था। खैर, मैं केवल अनुमान ही लगा सकता था, पर इस अनुमान को निश्चिंता में बदलने के लिए यह जरूरी था कि मैं किसी ऐसे बुजुर्ग निवासी की तलाश करूं जिसे उस लड़के या उस दुर्घटना के बारे में याद हो। पाइन टॉप पर एक मिस मार्ले नाम की बुजुर्ग महिला रहती थी। वह वुडस्टॉक से एक सेवानिवृत्त टीचर थी और उस याददाश्त सचमुच बहुत लाजवाब थी। इतना ही नहीं, उन्होंने उस जगह पर पिछले 50 से भी ज्यादा वक्त बिताया था। सफेद बालों और चिकने गालों वाली उस बुजुर्ग महिला ने मुझे पुराने जमाने के प्रिंस नेस, ऐसा चश्मा जो कि नाक पर रखा हुआ होता था, के झरोखे से अपनी नीली आंखों के माध्यम से जिज्ञासा भरी नजरों से सौम्यता से देखा। माइकल जोश में भरा हुआ, दूसरों का भला करने के लिए तैयार रहने वाला एक सौम्य लड़का था। मुझे केवल कहना भर होता था कि वह मुझे अखबार या एक एस्पिरिन की जरूरत है, और वो साइकिल पर सवार होकर बड़े ही बेपरवाह होकर उन खड़ी सड़कों पर साइकिल दौड़ा देता था। लेकिन यह तीव्र मोड़ों वाली पहाड़ी सड़कें साइकिल पर दौड़ने के लिए नहीं बनी थी। उस वक्त सड़क पर चौड़ीकरण किया जा रहा था और ऐसे में एक ट्रक जिसमें मलबा लदा था ऊपर की तरफ से आया और उसी वक्त माइकल साइकिल पर सवार मोड़ पर आ गया और फिर सिर के बल उस ट्रक से जा टकराया। उसे तुरंत अस्पताल ले जाया गया और डॉक्टर ने भरसक प्रयास किया, लेकिन उसे होश नहीं आया। शायद तुमने उसकी कब्र जरूर देखी होगी और तभी तुम मुझसे मिलने मेरे पास आए हो। यहाँ तक उसके माता पिता का सवाल है, वे कुछ ही दिनों के बाद यहाँ से चले गए थे। मुझे लगता है शायद वे विदेश चले गए। एक सौम्य लड़का माइकल, परंतु थोड़ा ज्यादा बेपरवाह। मुझे लगता है यदि तुम उससे मिलते हो, तुम्हें वह जरूर पसंद आएगा आता। इसके बाद कुछ वक्त के लिए मुझे वह भूतिया साइकिल सवार दोबारा नहीं दिखाई दिया। यद्यपि उसकी मौजूदगी को मैंने कई बार महसूस किया था, और जब सर्दी की एक सर्द शाम को मैं सन्नाटे भरे कब्रिस्तान से गुजरा, तो मुझे लगा कि मैंने उसे कहीं बहुत दूर से सीटी बजाते हुए सुना है, लेकिन वह खुद कभी सामने नहीं दिखाई पड़ा। शायद वह केवल मेरी तुच्छ छाया के साथ एक सीटी की प्रतिध्वनि का समागम था। कई महीने के गुजर जाने के बाद मैंने एक बार फिर से उस मुस्कुराते हुए चेहरे को देखा, और फिर उस दिन वो मेरे पास धुंध से निकलकर सामने आ खड़ा हुआ जब मैं मॉनसूनी बारिश से भीगता हुआ अपने घर जा रहा था। दरअसल उस दिन मैं रात्रि भोज की एक दावत में पुराने सामुदायिक केंद्र गया था और आईब्रो नामक संकीर्ण ऊबड़ खाबड़ रास्ते पर घर की तरफ लौट रहा था। उस पूरी शाम तूफान का खतरा मंडराता रहा। पहाड़ी पर गहरी धुंध छा गई थी। धुंध इतनी घनी थी कि मेरी टॉर्च की रोशनी भी उसको भेद नहीं पा रही थी। आसमान बिजली की रोशनी में चमक उठा था और पहाड़ों पर बादल गड़गड़ा रहे थे। बारिश तेज हो चली थी। मैं धीरे धीरे सावधानी के साथ पहाड़ी को पकड़ते हुए आगे बढ़ा। तभी भीषण गड़गड़ाहट हुई और फिर मैंने उसी पतले काले युवक को, जिसे कब्रिस्तान में दफना दिया गया था, धुंध से प्रकट होते हुए मेरे सामने खड़े होते हुए देखा। इस बार वो मुस्कुराया नहीं। इसकी जगह उसने अपना हाथ उठाया और मेरी ओर लहराया। मैं झिझक कर खामोशी के साथ स्थिर खड़ा रहा। धुंध थोड़ा सा उठी और मैंने पाया कि रास्ता गायब हो चुका था। मेरे सामने कुछ दूरी पर रास्ता तेजी से गायब होता जा रहा था और तभी एक पत्थर लगभग 100 फीट से नीचे जा गिरा। जैसे ही मैं सहारा लेने के लिए कटीली झाड़ी को पकड़ने के लिए पीछे हटा, वह लड़का गायब हो गया। उसके बाद मैं लड़खड़ाते हुए सामुदायिक केंद्र में वापस आ गया और वहां पुस्तकालय में रखी एक कुर्सी पर रात बिताई। मैंने उसको दोबारा फिर कभी भी नहीं देखा। लेकिन कुछ हफ्ते बाद जब मैं फ्लू से गंभीर रूप से ग्रसित था, तब एक दिन जब बिस्तर में था, मैंने उसे अपनी खिड़की के नीचे सीटी बजाते हुए सुना। मुझे समझ में नहीं आया कि वह क्यों सीटी बजा रहा था। क्या वह मुझे शामिल होने के लिए आमंत्रित कर रहा है या फिर वो मुझे आश्वस्त करने के लिए कोशिश कर रहा था कि सब कुछ ठीक है। मैं बिस्तर से उठा और बाहर देखा, लेकिन मुझे कोई भी दिखाई नहीं पड़ा। इसके बाद वक्त वक्त पर मुझे उसकी सीटी की आवाजें सुनाई देती रही, लेकिन फिर जैसे जैसे मैं ठीक होता गया, सीटी की आवाज धीमी पड़ती
तो
गई।
ये बच्चे को आप लोग नहीं कहता हूँ आप लोग अच्छे हम गए बहुत सारे अपकमिंग इवेंट कंफर्म हो चुके हैं बात करेंगे जन्म
और फिर वह पूरी तरह से आना बंद हो गई। पूरी तरह से स्वस्थ हो जाने के बाद मैंने पहाड़ी के ऊपर जाने का सिलसिला एक बार फिर से शुरू किया। हालांकि फिर भी मैं कब्रिस्तान के पास अंधेरा होने तक रुका करता था और वीरान सड़क पर इधर उधर चलता रहता था। लेकिन इसके बावजूद भी मैंने फिर कभी सीटी बजाने वाले को दोबारा न तो देखा और न ही सुना। मुझे अकेलापन सताने लगा था। एक दोस्त की जरूरत महसूस होती थी, फिर चाहे वह भूतिया साइकिल वाला ही क्यों ना हो। लेकिन वहां सिर्फ पेड़ ही थे और कुछ भी नहीं। और इस तरह रोज शाम को मैंने अंधेरे में वही पुराना गीत गाता हुआ घर वापस लौटकर चलने लगा। हम तीन, कभी भीड़ नहीं है हम, कोई साथी भी तो नहीं है हम, बस ये मेरी गूंज, मेरी छाया और मैं। कैसी लगी कहानी आपको? हाँ जी, कैसी लगी कहानी आपको आज? कोई बताना चाहेगा?
Ma'am, may I?
यस युवराज।
Ma'am, this story was basically full of fear, anxiety, and also it was filled with mystery, mysterious things, and suspense.
ओके, सो ऐसी कहानियां आपको अच्छी लगती हैं कि आपको लगता है इस कहानी को पूरा होना चाहिए? सिद्धू, आप कुछ कहना चाह रहे हैं?
मैम मेरे को तो ऐसी कहानी अच्छी लगती है क्योंकि डरावनी होती है।
ओके, पर इसमें डरावना तो कुछ भी नहीं था। ये तो
मैम
हो सकता है उनके दिल की बात हो और वो
सुनने
चूंकि
में मजा
लैंडस्लाइड
आता
बहुत कॉमन होते हैं पहाड़ों पे, जब बारिश होती है तो लैंडस्लाइड होते हैं, पत्थर टूटते हैं, इधर उधर गिर जाते हैं। तो लोगों को लगता है कि कोई अदृश्य ताकत शायद उन्हें बचा ले। तो ये उनकी एक फीलिंग होती है, और इसमें एक्चुअली सब कुछ अच्छा ही रहा। ऐसा सच तो कुछ हॉरर था नहीं इसमें। कोई बताना चाहेगा? यस वेदा।
मैम, ऐसी कहानियाँ मुझे अच्छी लगती हैं क्योंकि इसमें कोई एंडिंग नहीं होती, ना हैप्पी एंडिंग ना सैड एंडिंग। मतलब
ओके।
एक एक मिस्टीरियस थिंग जो कभी किसी के सामने आ ही नहीं। और मतलब एक वो लास्ट में वो हो गया कि एक इंसान जिसके पास कोई नहीं है, वो अकेला है, लेकिन उसको बस कोई साथी चाहिए जो एक भूत भी हो सकता है।
हम्म।
बस उसको उस पे ट्रस्ट, एक चीज आ जाती है जो उसको अपने छाया पे है, मतलब जिसकी जो शैडो है उस पे उसको ट्रस्ट है, क्योंकि वो उसका साथ कभी नहीं छोड़ेगा।
सर्टेनली, तो जो उसका
मैम
शैडो है या छाया है, वो उसका साथ कभी भी नहीं छोड़ेगा, हमेशा उसके साथ रहेगा, और उसी ट्रस्ट से वो अंधेरे रोड पे या ऐसी किसी जगह पे जहाँ कोई भी नहीं है उसके साथ वो चलता रहता है। यस
मैम
ऋषिका, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
यस मैम। मैम ऐसी कहानियाँ मुझे भी अच्छी लगती हैं बिकॉज इन कहानियों में जो राइटर थे उन्होंने मतलब डीप इमोशंस को कुछ ज़्यादा ही डालने की कोशिश की है। और इसमें हम लोग के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि हम एंडिंग को कैसे सोच सकते हैं।
यस। सो इस बार के रिफ्लेक्शन में हम लोग यही लिखते हैं कि इसकी एंडिंग आप कैसे चेंज करना चाहेंगे, क्योंकि ये एंडिंग तो एक गाने से, उनके जो 3 सेंटेंसेस के सॉन्ग थे उस पे उन्होंने एंड करी है। तो आप इसको एंडिंग को कुछ चेंज करना चाहेंगे कि नहीं, ये हम इस बार रिफ्लेक्शन में लिखेंगे। ठीक है, अभिमन्यु आप क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं?
मैम ये जैसे फैक्ट्स फैक्ट्स की तरह है मैम। जैसे हम जैसे कुछ सीखते हैं, तो कुछ ये मैम जीवन के बारे में बताना चाह रहे हैं कि हमारी जीवन में कैसी समस्या आती है, और कई बार हम उस समस्याओं को मन में बैठा लेते हैं।
यस, तो हमारी जिंदगी में, हमारे जीवन में अच्छी और बुरी चीजें हमेशा आती रहती हैं। तो हमेशा हमें आगे बढ़ने के लिए प्रोत्साहित रहना चाहिए। हमें हमेशा क्यूरियस होना चाहिए एक न्यू मॉर्निंग के लिए और दूसरों को हेल्प करने के लिए। पहाड़ों पे बहुत ज्यादा लैंडस्लाइड होती है, एंड गवर्नमेंट ने लगाए हुए हैं कि आपके डेड एंड है या क्रॉस रोड है या कोई है, बट लोग सिग्नल्स देखते नहीं है। वो हमेशा स्पीड वर्ल्ड में रहते हैं, खूब जल्दी जल्दी गाड़ी चलाने की कोशिश करते हैं, जिसके कारण यस एक्सीडेंट्स होते रहते हैं। तो ये कहानी हमें एक और संदेश देती है कि स्पीड में मत चलिए, आराम से चलिए। और चूंकि वाहन आपके पहाड़ पे चल रहे हैं और रोड संकरी है, बहुत ज्यादा चौड़ी नहीं है, तो इसके लिए संतुलन बना के चलिए। सीटी बजाते रहिए। यहाँ पे सीटी से जो मुझे समझ में आता है वो ये है कि लोगों को बताना कि आगे पीछे कोई और भी है, तो आराम से देख संभल के चलो। क्योंकि जब हम सीटी नहीं बजाते या हॉर्न नहीं बजाते हैं हिल्स पे, तो लोगों को पता नहीं चलता है कि दूसरी तरफ भी कोई है। तो लोगों को आभास होना चाहिए कि दूसरी तरफ भी है, तभी वो थोड़ी केयरफुल हो जाएंगे। तो एक ये भी मैसेज देती है कि लाइफ बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, हमें अपनी लाइफ के साथ रिस्क नहीं लेना चाहिए, और अपना केयर हमें खुद ही करना होता है। कोई और, देखिए एक्सीडेंट तो एक्सीडेंट होता है, वो कभी भी हो सकता है, बट उसके लिए हमें पहले से ही ध्यान में रखना चाहिए और एक एक स्टेप बहुत संभल के चलना चाहिए। कोई और कुछ कहना चाहेगा इसमें? यस अभिमन्यु।
मैम हमारे जीवन का आखिरी छोर तो मृत्यु है, तो हम अपने इस बात को जानकर भी हम फिर भी ये चाहते हैं कि हम पूरे जब तक ये दुनिया रहे तब तक हम जीवित रहें, और कई चीजें जो जो हमें जिंदा रख सकती है ऐसा हम सोचते हैं। पर मैम आखिरी जो जीवन का मोड़ है वो मृत्यु पे ही जाके खत्म हो जाता है।
बेटा जिंदगी की साक्षात जो है, यस कंप्लीशन वही है, बट कल के बारे में सोच के अपने आज को क्यों खराब करना। आज आप जिंदगी अच्छे से जिए, अपने फर्ज को निभाइए, और सबको खुशियां आप खुशियां बटोरिए भी और बिखेरिए भी। तो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट ये है खुश रहना और अपने आसपास लोगों को खुशी प्रदान करना। तो जिंदगी क्या हो रही है नहीं हो रही है, कौन से रोड पे लेके जा रही है, उसके बारे में नहीं सोच के हम हमारे हाथों में क्या है, हमारे हाथ में आज है। जो कल गुजर गया वो भी हमारे हाथ में नहीं है, आने वाला कल किसी ने देखा नहीं है। तो जो हमारा आज है उसे बहुत ही अच्छे से प्रेम के साथ हमें आगे बिताना है। राइट अभिमन्यु? तो आप ये मत सोचिए क्या होने वाला है, आप सोचिए आप क्या कर सकते हैं, कि जैसे सब लोग आपको याद रखे, सब बताएं, सब सोचें कि हाँ ये बच्चा बेस्ट बच्चा था, ये बच्चे ने हमें इतनी सारी अच्छी चीजें दी। सब लोग आपकी तारीफें करें और आप उनको एक जीवन को जीने के लिए एक मार्गदर्शक आप उनके बन सके, और आगे बढ़ने के लिए उनकी जो मनोकामना है उनको किसी तरीके से आप हेल्प करके पूरा कर सके। हाँ जी युवराज, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
Yes, ma'am. Basically, the writer wants to express his feelings about what happens in this daily life to his storybooks. In he basically wants to link everything he written in his book to the reality, what exactly happened in this world and how it can be preserved. And you. Mm,
वेरी नाइस। और कोई कहना चाहेगा कुछ जिसने अभी तक नहीं बोला है? मीनाक्षी मैम, आपकी क्या राय है इस स्टोरी के बारे में? मीनाक्षी मैम,
या
ऑडिबल?
या या तो इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी। ये बेसिकली क्या होता है, जब हम अकेले होते हैं तो हमें किसी की साथ की जरूरत होती है ना। और उस साथ को जो कभी हम किसी को जाने गए जाने होते हैं या कुछ होते
ma'am.
हैं, वो हमारा साथ देने लगता है हमारे इमेजिनेशन में। एक तो वो है कि हम हमें उससे अपनी अकेलापन दूर होता हुआ नजर आता है। एक तो वो है, दूसरा ये है कि हाँ, और सब चीज जो जैसे आपने कहा कि एक्सीडेंट, पहाड़ों में गाड़ी
Ma'am.
जल्दी तेज नहीं चलाना चाहिए। हाँ हाँ, बताओ बेटे। हेलो, कौन बोल रहा था?
मैम, जैसे कि एक परछाई जो होती है मैम, उसमें कोई कलर नहीं होता है, बट मैम वो आपकी लाइफ में वो कलर लाता है।
हाँ, कलर लाता है हमारे लाइफ को। ऐसा लगता है जैसे कि हमारे साथ हर समय कोई है, तो हमें हमें अपना लाइफ ज्यादा सार्थक महसूस होने लगता है कि देयर समबडी, है ना, जो हमारे हर चीज को, हमारे दुख में भी साथ दे रहा है, सुख में भी साथ दे रहा है ना। और कोई हो चाहे नहीं हो, वो तो हमारे साथ है ना। एंड दैट इज अ ग्रेट फीलिंग कि कोई है हमारे साथ हर वो एक तरह से हम हमें इनर स्ट्रेंथ देता है। वी ऑल नो कि परछाई रियल नहीं है, लेकिन वो हमें इनर स्ट्रेंथ देता है, हमें जीने की एक चाह देता है कि चलो कोई तो है जो हमारा देख रहा है ना, हम हमें सुन रहा है, हमारी सराहना कर रहा है, या हमारी तकलीफ सह रहा है। दैट्स ट्रू। ओके, इट्स वेरी ट्रू। सो वो फीलिंग तो आता ही है, डेफिनेटली।
यस मैम। और कोई कुछ कहना चाहेगा? ठीक है। तो अभी मैं क्या करती हूँ, जो पिछले हफ्ते मेरे पास पोस्ट आई थी उसको मैं थोड़ा आप लोग को दिखा देती हूँ। सो ये आपकी सनबीम बलिया स्कूल की पोस्ट है, सरिता सिंह की। सरिता सिंह है यहाँ पे? सरिता सिंह या कोई भी सनबीम बलिया का कोई है यहाँ पे?
मैम, यू आर नॉट ऑडिबल।
नॉट ऑडिबल? मीनाक्षी मैम, मेरी आवाज नहीं आ रही?
आ रही है मैम, आ रही है, आ रही है।
ओके। सरिता सिंह है यहाँ पे या फिर सनबीम बलिया से कोई है जो ये
Ma'am,
पढ़ना
I am
चाहेगा?
from Sunbeam Palia.
हाँ जी, प्लीज रीड दिस।
Today's reflection, things I learned. Take a break to reconnect. Find mindfulness and balance anything. The part I loved when Jugeef sir and Manisha ma'am was discussing about social media and countryside life with students, highlighting the digital life influence and rural life's simplicity. What we did.
Yes, beta, you may continue.
Yes, okay. What we did, we had an engaging session discussing what you are looking for is in the library by Juggi sir. The story of a young Japanese girl who feels unsure about her qualities while working as a store assistant. Her journey from a rural area surrounded by rice fields to bustling Tokyo City highlights her desire for growth and changes by Savita Singh.
वेरी गुड. सो ये एक और है, ये तलत आपका है. आप पढ़ना चाहेंगे तलत?
Yes.
तलत,
Yes, Pap.
हाँ बेटा, you can read your reflection.
Uh, Reflection on today's session. Jai Hind everyone. I am Talat Bano from 5th C from Sunbeam School, Balia. This is my reflection. In today's session, firstly, Mr. Juggeet Singh Sir has given us the opportunity to read our reflections. Then after that, he had read a story called as What You Are Looking For Is in the Library. It was an amazing story and we learned many new words and improved some of the vocabulary. He had also asked many questions related to the story, and he had also asked us about many various topics like village, country, city. We had enjoyed this session a lot. I really thank Juggeet Singh sir for giving this opportunity to learn new things on this platform.
वेरी गुड, थैंक यू
Thank
तलत. इफ्रा है यहाँ पे. इफ्रा की जगह कौन पढ़ना चाहेगा? कोई और है सनबीम बलिया से? कोई
Ma'am, can
पढ़ना
I?
चाहेगा इसको? यस युवराज.
Today's reflection on my good school session. Ifra Wahid, Sunbeam Balia. Today's session with Jugjeev sir was truly engaging and full of lively discussions. We began by reading some reflections written by the students. After that, we started exploring a new book titled What You Are Looking For in the Library, written by Michiko Ayuma and translated into English by Alison Watts. The story was captivating and offered a wonderful in, insight into Japanese culture. While reading, we also discussed how a person's behavior can align with their ab- ambition and explore the significance of warm and cool colors.
थैंक यू बेटा. अनन्या, you can read this. Ananya, do you wish to read? Ananya, I've unmuted you, Ananya. You're allowed to talk. Garima, do you wish to read?
Yes, ma'am. From the starting itself?
No, beta, the next part.
Oh, following the reading, we had an enriching discussion on various topics. We imagined what life would be like in Tokyo, shared thoughts about our dream destinations, and reflected on people's addiction to social media, its connection to boredom, and ways to manage it. The session was a perfect blend of learning and enjoyment. The second session with Manisha ma'am began with an energizing energizer, a fun challenge to see how many claps we could do in a minute. After that, we read the mysterious story Chakrapa Ki Billi by Ruskin Bond, which had an unexpected and surprising ending.
Okay, thank you. So, 1 minute. Let me see if I have more. ग्रामीण स्कूल से कोई है? मीनाक्षी मैम, डू यू विश टू रीड दिस? Okay, I'll
Okay,
read
give me a
this.
minute, right? I'll just. Safat, sorry, ma'am, I'm unable to read it because it's not very clear in my phone.
नो प्रॉब्लम मैम।
Okay.
रचनात्मकता और सोच में सुधार। यह नए विचारों को प्रेरित करता है, दुनिया को नए नजरिए से देखने में मदद करता है और रचनात्मकता बढ़ाता है। बेहतर नींद। यह आपको आरामदायक और गहरी नींद लेने में मदद करता है। ज्ञान और कौशल। ये शब्दावली बढ़ाता है और सामान्य ज्ञान में वृद्धि करता है और तार्किक क्षमता विकसित करता है। एकाग्रता। यह एकाग्रता बढ़ाता है और आपको अपने लक्ष्यों पर ध्यान केंद्रित करने में मदद करता है। आपको क्या करना चाहिए? I request everyone to please mute themselves if they are not talking. प्रेरक और सकारात्मक किताबें। ऐसी किताबें जो आपको
Shaurya, please mute yourself.
यस प्रेरक और सकारात्मक किताबें। ऐसी किताबें जो आपको दुनिया और समाज के बारे में सोचने पर मजबूर करें। उपन्यास जो कल्पनाशीलता और रचनात्मकता को बढ़ावा दे। संक्षेप में, सोने से पहले अच्छी किताबें पढ़ें और सकारात्मक सोचने की आदत आपको मानसिक रूप से स्वस्थ, रचनात्मक और शांत बनाती है, जिससे आपको पूरा दिन बेहतर रहता है। सोने से पहले अच्छी बातें सोचने के फायदे। सकारात्मकता। यह नकारात्मक विचारों को दूर करता है और आपको चुनौतियों का सामना करने के लिए तैयार करता है। शांति। यह मन को शांत करता है और दिन भर की परेशानियों को भुलाने में मदद करता है। सोने से पहले किताब पढ़ने के फायदे। मानसिक स्वास्थ्य। यह स्ट्रेस लेवल को कम करता है और मानसिक स्वास्थ्य को अच्छा रखता है। थैंक यू चंचल मैम। सो चंचल मैम ने बहुत ही अच्छे और बहुत ही छोटे छोटे वर्ड्स को लेकर के बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से हमें समझाया है कीवर्ड्स की, कि किस तरीके से सोने से पहले अगर हम कोई अच्छी सी स्टोरी पढ़ते हैं तो उसकी क्या पॉजिटिविटी आती है हमारी लाइफ में, एंड हम इसको कैसे एंजॉय करते हैं। सो सनसिटी के ये आए हैं मयंक, अद्विक, ये बच्चे हैं यहाँ पे, दिव्यांश, नमन, अनन्या।
Ma'am, I am audible or not?
यस बेटा अनन्या, यू आर ऑडिबल।
Ma'am, may
यू आर
I
फ्रॉम
read?
सनसिटी?
Ma'am, may I read? No, ma'am,
या
I'm
प्लीज।
from Lehartara.
ओके ओके, प्लीज गो अहेड।
After watching this episode, I understood the Guru Chela relationship as a living bond rather than just a title. The way Guru Nanak ji patiently prepared Bhai Lehna to receive the spiritual baton showed me that real teacher quietly shapes a student's character over time, not through miracles, but through daily example, guidance, and trust.
और कोई पढ़ना चाहेगा? अद्विक है यहाँ पे।
Ma'am, may I?
प्लीज लेट मी नो योर नेम, हु इज दिस? किसने बोला मे आई?
Ma'am, me.
शौर्य? ये शौर्य।
No, ma'am, I have not.
अच्छा, अनंत तिवारी, यस यू मे रीड अनंत।
No, ma'am.
बेटा पढ़ना चाहेंगे? डू यू विश टू रीड? ओके, कोई और पढ़ना चाहेगा?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ युवराज, आप ये अद्विक वाला पोस्ट पढ़ सकते हैं।
Okay, ma'am. I was espe- I was especially moved by the idea that Guru Nanak Ji chose Bhai Lehna as his successor based on inner spiritual merit rather than blood relations or social status. In a world where preference is other given to family and power, This decision taught me that leadership should be given to the more deserving and sincere person, no matter their background. It challenged me to rethink how I judge people and to value inner qualities over extreme.
external labels. चलो थैंक यू। और ये रिट्रीट के लिए फ्लिप बुक बनाई थी, आई जस्ट शेयर दिस विथ यू। दिख रही है आपको?
Yes,
देखिए
ma'am.
कितने अच्छे से इन्होंने रिट्रीट के टाइम पे ये फ्लिप बुक बनाई है। ये थोड़ी लेट पोस्ट है बट नेवर माइंड। और आप देख सकते हैं कि पूरी हैंड रिटन है। बहुत ही सुंदर बुक बनी है ये। थैंक यू। और इस बार की रिट्रीट इस बार के रिफ्लेक्शन के लिए मैं सबसे गुजारिश करूंगी, मैं सबको बोलना चाहूंगी कि जो हमने किताब पढ़ी है द विस्लिंग स्कूल बॉय, और चैप्टर भी वही है द विस्लिंग स्कूल बॉय, तो आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि प्लीज आप अपना रिफ्लेक्शन इसमें लिखिए। आप स्टोरी को कैसे एंड करना चाहेंगे वो उस पे लिखिए। और पॉजिटिव नोट पे हमारा सोल या हमारा जो रिफ्लेक्शन है किस तरीके से हमें हेल्प करता है। तो बहुत सारे थॉट है, आप देखिए आपको क्या पसंद आता है, उसके ऊपर कुछ लिखिए और भेजिए, जिस तरीके से हम उसको नेक्स्ट हमारे संडे के लिए अपने वेबसाइट में पब्लिश कर सके और आप लोग खुद उसको पढ़िए। जुगजीत सर, डू यू वांट टू से समथिंग और शुड आई क्लोज द सेशन फॉर टुडे?
No, no, please go ahead, close. I've been listening, got cut off a few times, but it's been very interesting, a very good discussion. And thank you to Vrinda ma'am, Meenakshi, and you, and Sia, of course, doing a great job. So thank you.
So thank you everyone for joining. Do write your reflection and get back to us next week. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
Wow.
Jane, ma'am.
Jai Hind.